A different test for rookie quarterback Carson Wentz lurks in week 2, from the attacking Gray Horton to a disguising Vic Fangio. Monday Night Football in the Windy City, Chicago Bears and Philadelphia Eagles. Jeremy Burton is here. I'm Adrian Fedke. We're here to talk about this game. Dude, that extra day. Are you kidding me? We have to wait an extra day to watch Mr. Carson Wentz play again?
But the only saving grace about being Monday Night Football is, I can just sit down and relax on Sunday on NFL Red Zone all day, 8 hours of commercial-free football, got all my fantasy teams going, my computer, FanDuel going, So that's the only thing. But, yeah, waiting that extra day. I mean, we're itching to see our boy again. I mean, what a week he had last week, and I mean, even this week, the President of the United States even is talking about getting on the Wentz wagon. I mean, this kid, he showed us everything. He's such a smart kid. I think he can, every week he's going to continue to get better and better. Bring on the Bears. Their defense doesn't really scare me.
So here's basically what's going on. So the Browns are like basically the worst defense in the league. They starting all these rookies, all this shit. So there's a little bit more talent on the Bears' defensive side. They're about in the middle of the pack, I think, defensively. They got some pretty good players. Guy at middle linebacker, inside linebacker, Darrell Freeman. You got to keep an eye on him. This dude is a fucking beast. So he's great on like the screen plays, and that's what caught my eye on tape watching him. And that'll be interesting because with Zach Ertz out, who's going to be that weapon? And you got to think maybe they'll utilize running backs, Darren Sproles, and Freeman's a guy that can, really work the zones and stuff. So, he's the guy to keep an eye out for me on the Chicago side on defense. But let's get back to Carson Wentz. I mean, what he did against the Browns. I know it was the Browns. I get that. But it's still better than playing Alabama. And they knocked him because he was an FCS quarterback. And let's take a look and see what he did. So he threw the ball 37 times. That in itself is pretty astonishing for a first, NFL start. So he's throwing the ball 37 times. He's calling audibles. He's beating blitzes. He was unbelievable. He's not only throwing dimes, he's throwing quarters and Canadian dollars in the end zone for touchdowns. He was unbelievable in week 1. And now it's just another test. And it's awesome because first Monday night game, first road game, just another test for Wentz.
Yeah, it's funny. When we were going into this season with Sam Bradford as our starter, he's just a noodle. We were like, we might at best be an 8-win team at best. But it's funny with seeing Carson as a rookie, 23-year-old kid. He's better than Sam Bradford. He's doing things Bradford couldn't do, especially the mobility-wise. But, I mean, the amount of touch he has on the ball, the connection he already has. It's funny you brought up who's going to be the number 2 weapon with Ertz out. I mean, I'm anxious to see if Aguilar can be consistent and have another good showing. They obviously had a good connection there on that 35-yard touchdown go route. Aguilar beat Hayden 2 plays before, and Wentz didn't see it. And after we converted the 4th down, also beating a blitz through a strike to Zach Ertz on that 4th down conversion. Very next play, goes deep and hits Aguilar. Whether it was Aguilar or Peterson, someone noticed, or Wentz noticed that he beat him in the previous play, went back at it again, boom, on a pillow, just perfect touch on the ball, touchdown to Aguilar. It's amazing what you see from this kid. I'm beyond impressed. Just his command of the offense, changing protections, going from under center to shotgun when he sees a blitz coming, switch to protection to protect the A gap. I mean, I can't say enough about him. Like you said, just another test, and he's a 4.0 student in his career. He hasn't ever gotten below an A in his life. I think he'll pass this test too.
Oh, that was pretty well said right there. That was good. That's a thumbs up from me. All right, so it's just even the ball placement was just superb, and the easy velocity he has on sideline throws. It's a thing to behold, and it's just the season has become just so much more exciting now. Like with Sam Bradford, it was just so boring and dull and checked down and just bleh. It was bleh. It was just I didn't want to watch that. So now we got it's a breath of fresh air, and all of a sudden I think the ceiling of this team can be, maybe they can win 9 games with Carson, because like with Bradford, like before the season, I didn't think like this Bears game, this Lions game, I thought maybe they go 1-2 in those 2 games because those are 2 bottom feeders in the NFC. But now I think they can maybe win both of those games. So if you look at like a previous ceiling of 8-8, maybe 9-7, maybe they can compete for the division. Who the hell knows? So, it depends what we see out of Wentz again. And, you bring up the number 2 receiver option. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Aguilar? Is it going to be Trey Burton? One of those guys is going to have to step up. Burton showed some encouraging signs during the preseason because it was everywhere they had him. Wide receiver. He's playing in the backfield. He was in the slot. He was out wide. He was playing tight end. He was lined up everywhere. So if you can kind of utilize him kind of a little bit as a gadget, we'll see. I mean, the thing that Ertz was really starting to provide was a run blocking presence. And this is something that, maybe people aren't realizing. Because like he is such a pass catching threat. But he is starting to get the run blocking down to a T. He's athletic on the second level. He finds defensive backs. I mean, I don't know. He was doing a pretty good job in preseason, and this is something I don't think Burton can provide. But as a receiving option, he might be able to make some plays. And Aguilar really is a big key. I said coming into the year, like he's an X factor. Like if you can get anything from him, it would be fine with me, whatever, because he was just so bad last year. So we'll see. I mean. I got to get some consistency from him. It's an encouraging sign that he played well, but I need to see it all season long, not just 1 week, not just 2 weeks. I need to see it for an extended period of time before I start trusting it. So we'll see. I mean, hey, if they can win this game, who the fuck knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, it's really a shame about Ertz, man. Obviously had some good chemistry going. He's one of our best weapons on offense. But I mean, Jordan Matthews looked great. He had a drop.
I didn't even bring up his name because that's how stupendous he was.
Yeah,
we don't have to worry about that.
He did have a drop early on, but that's fine. I see Selleck emerging as doing his helping out with blocks. If we're gonna run 2 tight end sets, we didn't see Burton last week. He was inactive with a calf injury. So yeah, you saw those him line up everywhere in the preseason. I'd be anxious to see. Assuming he's healthy, plays this where he plays this game. If they're going to move around, kind of get some mismatches. But I see Sproles stepping up on like third downs when necessary. But yeah, also Aguilar and I mean Doyle Green Beckham. He's had another week to learn the offense. Every week going by. I mean, he's just a specimen athlete. And we got him for Dennis Kelly. So
style. We traded style for Dorial Green Beckham. Go ahead.
Hopefully everyone steps up. And Ertz is being missing, and hopefully he comes back. I don't think he'll be back for the Steelers game either. And then we have the bye week. We probably won't see Ertz till after the bye and let that rib heal. But it's interesting. I really think we can beat the Bears. That puts us at 2-1. And then, Steelers is the real litmus test. See where Wentz is. That's going to be.
They're not beating the Steelers. That's not going to happen. I don't see that.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
That would be awesome.
But that would be. I just want to see. I can't wait to. I just hope we get this win first, and then I really can't wait for him to. That's like, literally the first 3 weeks. One test to another, to an exponential harder, another test. So here we got the Bears this week, better than the Browns. And then you got the Steelers, one of the better teams in the league. So these first 3 weeks, Wentz is really going to be tested. He's going to put put his skills and knowledge to the test, and I'm very confident. He's such a confident guy. He says he doesn't get nervous, but he puts on some Jason Aldean before the game. Matthews doesn't really agree. He likes himself some Kanye, but whatever works for Wentz, man. He's a country boy, so he likes that country music. I saw Jason Aldean Sunday night. He was great. So that's another props for Carson. He's the man.
So, like, going back to this point again, you go from, an aggressive blitzing defense. Now you're going to a disguise, and then even going a step further, in the Steelers game, what that test is to see if he can keep up with the Pittsburgh offense, because that Pittsburgh offense is going to score. You're going to have to score 30-plus points in that game, and that's the test there. Can you score 30-plus? Can you win an offensive shootout? That's what that Pittsburgh game is. So, but, going back to this one, I mean, there's some things I want to talk about on this offensive line. And it starts with Brandon Brooks. This dude, 340 pounds, the way he moves on the pulls, the movement skills, the agility he has, finding linebackers on the second level with ease, playing with this perfect balance. He was unbelievable. Now, it was only the Browns, but that's the great thing. Now he gets to face a pretty good interior Bears defense. You got Akeem Hicks there now, Eddie Goldman good inside. So I'm curious to watch them going up against that front seven of the Bears. Again, it's a bigger test for the offensive line, and the offensive line showed some signs in week one of some pretty good play, and we didn't see that in week one of the preseason, that's for sure.
Oh, Brandon Brooks. I mean, he was such a key signing. I mean, to have it's a little better than Matt Tobin and Andrew Gardner from last year, wouldn't you say? But Brandon Brooks, he's a manhandler. He's a mauler, and for his size, he can scoot. He can take a man and drag him, block him 10 yards down the field and throw him down. Hello, running hole. That's fine. So that was such a key addition. I thought the offensive line was pretty solid. I mean, and you know what? We used some of Chip's pull runs there. Utilized Brandon Brooks in that way, and he was great. Ryan Matthews ran for some tough yards. So, these are just, as the unit keeps working together. I mean, who knows? We still haven't heard anything about Lane Johnson, which I think is ridiculous. But continue to have the unit work together. They're only going to get better. So, that's key. I mean, pass protection and run protection, run blocking. We got to keep Carson healthy. So, got to protect our boy. We can't have him taking any shots to the ribs. He's going to have to learn the Eli Manning tactic after he makes his throws and kind of turn his body a little bit to avoid those straight up square shots. I mean, you don't want him to get a concussion or injure his ribs again. So, we don't want to see any part of Chase Daniel this year. So let's hope the offensive line continues to grow and we move the ball, both running the ball and protect them, give them a clean pocket.
Yeah, I mean, they were running some of the pull sweeps with Kelsey, some of Chip's stuff, and utilizing some of his strengths, playing up to his players' strengths, and trying to create mismatches. Now, talking about Dorial Green-Beckham, I think the number was 23% of the team's snaps last week. It's not enough. That's not enough. He needs to see the field more. He had less snaps than Josh Huff. That's unacceptable. He needs to see the field more. I don't care if he's running just one route, and that's a go route. I don't give a fuck. He needs to get out there. So, especially in the red zone, let Carson throw him the ball. Because I think who did he try throwing the ball to in the corner there? Was that Matthews? And it was just like terribly timed. So, I gotta get Dorial out there. Let him run some crossing patterns and let him run some back shoulders. That's it. Just 2 fucking routes. Let him play. Damn it.
Well, maybe he is not that smart, and he needs more time.
Well, I knew he wasn't that smart. Like, we knew that. There's a reason why we got him for Dennis Kelly.
That's true. But yeah, I mean, you just got to hope that as the weeks go on that we utilize him more. I mean, because he's just a weapon that we need, and his size, especially in the red zone. I mean, especially with Ertz out, he's going to be he can be huge in the red zone for us.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, even if he just knows one route, just let him go out there and run it. That's, like, like 23% isn't enough. Like, at least bump it up to 50. Just get it up there a little bit. Let him get some opportunities to go make some plays. Use his frame and athleticism. You don't have to be like a polished route runner to throw a fucking fade or run a fade if you have that fucking athletic ability and that size and that body control in the air. Just let him go get it. So, all right, let's move on to the Chicago offense. And now we know that Leotis McKelvin is out. Well, probably going to be out. So who's going to step up and be the guy? So Nolan Carroll had like an up and down day last week. He gave up the pass to Pryor. He was actually good coverage there, but Pryor just went up and made a play. He missed a tackle on a third down. That was pretty pivotal. And so he had an up and down day. He had some good coverage too, though. It wasn't like terrible. And then you had Jalen Mills. Jalen Mills had 2 nice tackles on third down. Wasn't tested like that much in coverage, but he did get tested a couple times. Showed encouraging signs. So maybe Jalen Mills is the guy that steps up in the absence of McKelvin. We'll see. But, I mean, this is like going back to the Rowe thing and trading Rowe. Like, this is why you need Rowe in case someone goes down. Because there's not a lot of depth at cornerback here anymore. But Mills looked like he was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I saw flashbacks of Billy Davis defense last year where our corners couldn't find the ball in the air. They let Pryor go up and get that. I mean, there was 3 Eagles there. That was the one play I really hated watching our secondary. But with McKelvin out, I think Mills is going to be the guy. I think he's going to start opposite Nolan Carroll, and you have Ron Brooks in the slot, obviously, and then Rodney McLeod's a guy I think that you want to have shading Alshon Jeffrey because he's their big playmaker. Alshon Jeffrey is going to be a problem, especially if Mills or Carroll is going to be on him. You got to give him help. I mean, McLeod has shown this tremendous ability. There was a play last week where he ran like 25 yards on a full-on sprint to make a beautiful tackle, and McLeod can cover as well, but I want to get pressure on Jay Cutler because he can make mistakes. We all know Jay Cutler throws picks. So I'm hoping, that we get some good pressure from our guys, and, that'll help out the rookie Mills because I think he's going to be out there starting.
Well, I'll say this again, just to reiterate it real quick. Billy Davis is no longer here. So no more of that bullshit where your cornerbacks are on an island week after week. You get some help over the top now, so you'll get some help from Rodney McLeod for sure. And the other thing is you're only blitzing. You're not really blitzing that much. Jim Schwartz doesn't blitz that much. He likes to generate pressure with the front 4. So if you can generate that pressure against some pretty bad tackles in Chicago's, they got Bobby Massey and Charles Leno. Those are their starting tackles. So going up against Connor Barwin, Brandon Graham, Vinny Curry, they should be able to generate some pressure. That's for sure. And that's going to help out in the passing game.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And then, we don't have to worry about the middle of the line either. We got Logan and Cox who just munch all day on offensive linemen. We'll push them right back. So, I mean, that's the key is just getting pressure on Cutler. Jeremy Langford doesn't really do much for me. He's just a guy there. I mean, he doesn't show me too many flashes. I'm not really worried about their running game. Basically, just Alshon Jeffrey is who I'm worried about. Kevin White, this is his first. He missed all last year as a rookie. This is his first. This is only his second game playing. So, yeah, as long as we can contain Alshon Jeffrey, or even if he gets 2 touchdowns, that might be the extent of their offense. Say they score 17 points. I mean, I definitely think the Eagles can score, 20 plus easily. So I got the Eagles winning this game, and I'm not too worried.
Oh wow, not worried. I like hearing. I like the confidence. I love it. All right, so yeah, I mean it's an interesting test again, and you know, just to talk about Jared Goff real quick, okay? Like, Case Keenum is their fucking starting quarterback. There is no reason why Jared Goff should not be your starter. This is ridiculous. It's not like Case Keenum is like a Phillip Rivers or even a Jay Cutler. Why is he not playing? This is idiotic. The stupidity of this. I don't care if he doesn't know where the sun sets.
And they picked him over Wentz. Way to go, Jeff Fisher. You won't make it past week 5.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. Let's send him a gift basket. A big old thank you on it.
He's been voided.
There it is. Well, yeah, it's a shame for Goff. He just looked terrible. His footwork's awful. He just doesn't look. He looks lost. I mean, in the preseason, he looked terrible. That's why Case Keenum and who's the other guy? Mannion. Sean Mannion. He might be starting this week. That's how bad Case Keenum was. He made Chip Kelly's defense look good. Okay, the Rams only had 186 yards of offense. Pathetic. I mean, yeah, Jared Goff might not sniff the field until they're already 2-12 or 1-13, and he'll play the last couple games. I mean, that's how bad the Rams are. That's how bad Jared Goff is, and yeah, they might have to completely redshirt him. I mean, it's crazy. That Wentz is going to be Rookie of the Year. It's fine.
Can you imagine if Eagles miraculously make the playoffs at 9-7? Wentz wins Rookie of the Year. It can happen.
It can happen, and we penciled Sam Bradford in as our quarterback and got a first rounder back for him and a 4th, and now we're even better in this situation. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the Eagles, from the fans' perspective, we got more hope, more excitement out of this season now that Wentz is in there, and we traded Bradford, and we got a 1st and a 4th for Bradford. I mean, it's unbelievable. Howie has 2 highway robberies. He should be in jail for felony robbery of the Vikings and the Titans for Dennis Kelly, and then Bradford 1st and a 4th for Bradford. I mean, wow.
I forget where I saw this tweet, but this was a great tweet. I'm not a Howie guy, but this was a funny tweet. So the tweet was so Howie was the kid that showed up at school with an apple cup. And by the end of lunch, he's got a Lunchables, a fruit roll-up, and a bag of Doritos.
Yeah, I saw that too. He goes into lunch with an apple, and it was 2 Lunchables. He ends up with goes from an apple to 2 Lunchables, Doritos, and a fruit roll-up. Yeah, I saw that as well. That was hilarious. It's true. I mean, he's wheeling and dealing this season, man. This offseason, like we said, we have reiterated before, it's all about making good on these draft picks. I mean, you got to see, hopefully we get a good tackle to take Jason Peters' spot, in the first round at next year's draft. That's who I see us taking. Unless Aguilar is a complete bust and we need help a receiver. But, that's what I see us getting. Building foundational pieces around Wentz. We got the most important player to build a franchise around, quarterback. got our corner, got our centerpiece on defense. Fletcher Cox, couple good pieces at safety. We need some corner help. But, I mean, and the pieces are starting to come together. The pieces of the puzzle are starting to come together. And, this can happen quicker than people think, building something great. I mean, perfect example. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be this, but from 97 to 99, the greatest show on turf. From having Trent Green, they drafted Orlando Pace #1 in 97, Torrey Holt in 98. They had Isaac Bruce, signed Aziz Akeem. All these pieces. Trent Green went down. There comes Kurt Warner, and boom, and they traded for Marshall Faulk for a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick. That's within that 2-year span, and boom, they're winning the Super Bowl 3 years later. 2 years later. It's this can happen faster than people think. You just got to draft right, and Howie's already doing the trades portion. So I think that was a cool analogy I heard today on the radio.
That is a bit ambitious for now, but it can be some sexy talk during the offseason. Not right now. All we've done was beaten the Browns. That's it. So we'll see. But that it is funny because thinking down the line, if everything comes to fruition and Carson Wentz is made out to be who he is made out to be and is like a franchise quarterback, sure, you can start getting a little bit more ambitious, but he's got to prove it first. I think he's got that potential, though. We definitely agree there. And I think everyone agrees in Philadelphia. What we saw from his debut, you don't see that a lot. You just don't. Doesn't matter who the team is. So, all right, I want to get back to Alshon Jeffrey because this scares me. I don't know who's going to cover him. Nolan Carroll covers the deep ball well, like the back shoulder balls that Cutler likes to throw to him. But he's just too physical for him. Jalen Mills, he's going to make mincemeat of Jalen Mills. McLeod's going to be the key here, laying the lumber. That's really the key for them. What helps us is that Eddie Royal looks like he might be a good player, in that offense for them. So he'll go up against Ron Brooks or whatever in the slot. Kevin White played, he made his debut last week. He was just meh. He had 3 catches for 30 yards, and 2 of them were in garbage time. So he's not really anything special right now. So Royal, it's Royal and Jeffrey are the 2 weapons. And, if they can play, if Ron Brooks can hold his own against Royal, I think they have a good shot. Because I don't trust Jeremy Langford, like you said. I think our defensive line can handle Langford. And you got Jordan Hicks. I think they should be able to handle that. So we'll see. Maybe I'm getting ambitious.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Like we said before, Langford doesn't scare me. Well, one guy that needs to, get his act together. Michael Kendricks only played on 40% of the snaps in defense.
He's been overrated for years now, and nobody's talking about it. No one likes talking about it because he used to be a fan favorite.
Yeah, he was. We gave him that extension. What was it? Before last season started. Yeah, I would say Stephen Tulloch, if he can move to the outside, we'll start taking snaps from him, or just running the nickel and taking Kendricks out of there altogether and just having Hicks and Bradham. But yeah, he's a guy that he just has to play better. He's the physical specimen that you want in a linebacker. He's huge. He's fast. Just get his mind wrapped around this scheme and play. Use that body. Be physical. Don't miss tackles. Use that body.
Yeah, say something about that. I think when Jim Schwartz, when they go into the nickel and dime situations, they always take out the weak side linebacker. So that's why his snaps get reduced too.
Yeah.
So but still, man, he hasn't shown much the last couple of years, and it's not a good sign because there's not a lot of depth at linebacker. You got Stephen Tulloch, But can you really count on Stephen Tulloch, providing you I mean, he's still pretty good, I think. But can you really count on him to be really good? I don't know. Kendricks hasn't really shown much though. So who the hell knows? I forget who said this, but watching Kendricks tackle is like trying to tackle a firefly, trying to catch a firefly.
miss.
That's what he's like.
Oh,
it's
shame.
So, now, going back to our offense real quick, we'll see about Trey Burton. And all right, just to kind of go back to this topic before we get out. All right, so Ertz is out. So, I'm hearing so many people are just assuming that Trey Burton can just do what Zach Ertz can do, and I don't think it's like that. I think as a tandem, Brent Celek and Trey Burton can make up for the production. But what Zach Ertz provides is, I mean, if you team those three guys together, that's the full, they can use that 3 tight end set fully, because you got everyone there. So, it hurts without Ertz, man. Because he was Wentz's second guy. I don't know if Burton is he's gonna be good. Maybe get you 4 to 5 catches, but I don't know. He's not going to have Ertz's impact, which is what some people are implying. I don't think that's going to happen. But as a tandem, if he can catch 4 balls, Celek catches 2 to 3 balls, that makes up for the 6 to 7 receptions Ertz is going to
get. Yeah. I see Celek staying in and helping out. Like I saw in the beginning of the game against the Browns, Ertz was blocking pretty well. I can see Celek continuing that. We know how good of a blocker Celek is. But, yeah, I don't have the exact heights off the top of my head. But, I mean, Burton's shorter. He doesn't have the length that Ertz and Celek do. But, he is kind of a gadget player. He can move him around. So that's an advantage where Ertz pretty much just lines up as the tight end on the end of the line. So, yeah, I'm anxious to see who steps up. I'm going to say Sproles has a big game. Maybe he gets a touchdown pass on a little screen and he scoots down and gets a TD. I'm going to say Sproles is going to step up.
That's going to be fun watching Sproles going up against Freeman in space.
Yeah,
that'll be fun. Yeah. All right. So I guess you kind of gave your prediction already, but I'll give you a score and you can give a score too. So I think the Eagles win 21-20. So I think they're going to win this one late. Carson Wentz throws a fucking touchdown pass. He introduces himself to the world.
There it is.
And that quarter he's going to throw? It's going to be one of those state quarters, and it's going to have fucking North Dakota on it.
That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, well, I said earlier that Bears would have 17. I'll give them a couple more. I'll give them another field goal. I'll put the Bears with 20 points, and I see the Eagles getting 31. So
holy shit!
31-20, no problem. I'm not even worried.
You're going bold. I like it, dude. That's bold as hell.
I think Carson's going to have at least 3 touchdowns and give 1 to Ryan Matthews, and then a field goal.
Wow, dude, that'd be awesome. We both have 20 points though, so we're both the same on the defense. Yeah, oh man. All right, so I can't wait for Monday night. All right, let's get into final thoughts now. Hey, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind? Well, 2 of my all-time favorite Eagles are going to get nominated for the Hall of Fame in 2017. So, Ryan Dawkins and Donovan McNabb officially got announced that they will be on the ballot. I don't see either of them getting in this year, first ballot, but it would not surprise me to see one or both on there. I'd say Dawkins more than McNabb. But, it's hard. I mean, no safety has gotten in the Hall of Fame since Ronnie Lott. But I think they're going to start happening. the Dawkins, the Ed Reeds, the Troy Palomalus, those guys in the coming years. I think, the way the games have changed, safeties are asked to do a lot more. I mean, what Dawkins has done as far as, sacks, picks, fumbles, tackles, he's got over 1,100 tackles, blow some of these other safety numbers out of the water. I mean, numbers-wise, Dawkins is a lot better than Polamalu. Polamalu has the ring, though. Dawkins has more Pro Bowls, 9 Pro Bowls. I say Dawkins eventually gets in. I think McNabb's going to fall just short. I love the guy, but I just don't think he has that X factor. And obviously, he went 1-4 in NFC Championship games and 0-1 in the Super Bowl. All that. But he was a great player. I mean, Donovan goes down as statistically and overall the best quarterback in Eagles history. We all love number 5, and number 5 loves us. But I say Dawkins gets in over McNabb.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. So I'm not going to repeat anything you said. It'll be interesting though to see what happens with McNabb, what kind of votes he gets over the years. We'll see. Final thought for me. I forgot to promote our website in the beginning. We have a new website.
Yes.
BitterBirds.com. So we're going to be starting writing more articles, to accompany our YouTube videos. So not only can you watch us, you can read what we write. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We got the website going on now. So make sure you check that out, thebitterbirds.com. So it is out. We are launched. I should have said this 35 minutes ago, but my bad. We'll get it in We'll get it in the recap show.
Yeah, it's good. It's exciting. It's finally up, and come visit us. Come check us out.
Boom. So there it is. All right. For Jeremy Burton, I'm Adrian Fedke. We're out. Go Birds. 2-0, maybe. We shall see. Peace.